Signs to recover from overtraining. Stay tuned. Talk about this creatine monohydrates. This will go hand in hand with your hydration. I'm not talking about this creatine. This is a basic creatine. I'm not sponsored, by the way, not sponsored by any companies, but I want to say creatine is the most scientific proven method. It comes from meat sources, but you have to eat a lot of meat, about 4 to 5 pounds a day, just to get 5 grams of creatine. And creatine is proven to have brain cognition, brain function, increased muscle mass, and more hydration because they put more water weight into your muscles. And the benefit of that is to actually become more fuller. Yes, you will gain weight on the scale, but you gotta understand what's gonna help you. Do more like pounds on the bar, and over time build more muscle to lose body fat, or just to feel like you have body fat but you don't. Like, you want creatine. I highly recommend it, especially if you're sweating or something. It doesn't hinder your performance, and this is ATP also. So if you're doing high reps or low reps, like explosive power, this can actually help you over time. It's not like a pre-workout. You take it, you feel it. If you have to take it in dosing, so I suggest you take it where you're gonna most likely take your supplements. So if it's the morning works for you, take it in the morning with your coffee. If it's an afternoon or in the middle of the day, do it that. Make sure you're consistent with it. I suggest if you're a bigger guy, 180 to 200 pounds, depending on height, of course, then you might have to take 2 scoops for like 2 days just to try to reach full saturation in 4 days. But just take it for 5-7 days, and you should reach around full saturation, so it's fully in your muscles, and that will help you over time to feel performance. This was for me 100 scoops in this container, and it was like $30 at Sam's. So it's very cheap, even if inflation went up. But it's very cheap anyways. So there's nothing wrong with it. And if you don't even want the water weight, just do it for the brain cognition. It will make a difference over time. It's not like a pre-workout said, but I highly suggest it. So let's move on. My name is NoBSNutirition, or Drake. I talk about 3 to 2 subjects, technically. Sometimes 1, I go into more detail. Today's 5 things that you can recover from overtraining. How would I implement this in my daily life so we can go back stronger than the last time. Today, I have a little sketch. Setup is different than before, so let's just get right into it. That's what I like. So rest and sleep. What I mean by rest is not just staying one place. Let's say, for example, it's your rest day, right? It's in the name, rest day. I do not mean by resting like laying down and resting. Resting should promote activity as well. You shouldn't be lazier on your rest day because it's your rest day. People got kind of a misconception on that. Actually, what's going to work ironically is actually move more. Increase blood flow. When increasing blood flow and walking probably a little bit more on your rest days will help you be less sore. For example, if let's say Saturday is your leg day and Sundays is your rest day, and you're super sore tomorrow on Sunday, right? The option is not to rest, because if you rest and telling the body just to be in one spot in this playing of motion that you're not moving, then the body's gonna adapt to that and actually be in that one plane of motion. It's gonna be in that stretch, not stretch playing of motion, where if you're walking or moving, that area that is sore, like your legs, will be more flexible and be more it'll be lengthened, so you can able to move it up and down, have less pain, and etc., because you having more blood flow in that area when you damaged it over time yesterday. So resting is a misconception. I really want people to realize there's different ways to rest, but I would suggest go for more walks, move around the body part that's actually could be in pain, or like a little bit, not exact like excessive, but move it around enough so it can increase blood flow. So over time it can actually you have less time to rest. You can just go back into it. And then if you walk more and it's not lay down when you're like in pain, or not in pain, when you're sore, then that's gonna help the body to actually recover faster. So yeah. And the next one is sleep. It's the same too, so rest and sleep. Sleep is major important because it produces a lot of hormones during that time. That's the only time you're actually resting. Like when the body is in a state of mode to actually go to sleep and actually create hormones, to make new cells, to burn calories, to lose body fat, etc. You hear a bunch of times, but sleep is more to it. Sleep will go hand in hand with rest because, well, it's the only time you're really producing a lot of hormones, other than eating, etc. That's the time where you actually are resting and telling the body, hey, I want to adapt, not degress, build more muscle tissue, lose more body fat, and actually become more healthier. So you need sleep. What would you aim for? I aim for 9 hours of sleep. Do I get 9 hours of sleep? No. I get 8 hours of sleep because it will take time to go to sleep. You have to count for 3 things. You have to count how long it's going to take for you to go to sleep, and how many times you're going to wake up throughout the night, and other factors like, oh, I had to stay up late, or I had to get ready for this job interview tomorrow, so I had to get ready, get prepared with my stuff, like that. So that's what the 3 things you have to be careful about, because that can affect your sleep. So if you say you get 8 hours of sleep, most likely you get 7. If you wake up at 3 times in the middle of the night, probably stay up for 30 minutes. So you gotta consider that. Okay? Number 2, nutrition and hydration. Nutrition is a big thing in the fitness community. You need a good nutrition. If you're trying to lose body fat and your calories are higher than usual, then you're not going to lose as much body fat. If your nutrition is poorly and you're trying to build muscle, you're not going to build muscle because you have less protein. So nutrition is a lot, and I'm not going to go super deep in topic, but I'm going to tell you the basic. You need good nutrition. If you don't have good, decent nutrition, you're not going to see a lot of growth, or you're not going to have the recovery abilities. The whole point to recover from these sore workouts is to actually build more muscle and regrow those tissues. Because over time, what you in the gym, you're actually damaging small tissue fibers, muscle fibers, to actually create new ones. It's like, have you heard about, hitting your knuckles on a brick wall, and over time, that can create stronger bones? That is called the Wolff Law, if I believe it or not, and that's the name of the scientific method to make your bones stronger, because it creates little fractures in your bones, so over time it can heal and become more thicker and stronger. Same thing with muscle tissues. That's what you're doing, and over time you had to try to recover from that. So nutrition is important. If you're doing all this crazy volume with low calories, well, you're not going to grow. You're going to degress. If you're doing less volume with a lot of calories, or if you do a lot of volume with, middle of calories, not too much, not too low, but you feel like shit and everything, then you probably need more hydration. And that's the next topic of the same number 2, hydration. Hydration goes with everything with recovery. If your muscle tissues or actually don't not have a lot of hydration in them, then it won't help you to produce more force. Let me explain. Muscle itself is 80% water. Glycogen storage, that's glycogen, water, etc. Lean muscle is different, but we're just talking about 80% is water tissue. So people who do keto, for example, will lose a lot of water because they eat less carbohydrates. And right now we just talk about hydration. You need hydration to feel as you lift. If you have a little to no water before you lift, you could do less weight. You could have higher chance of injury because the muscles are not hydrated. If the muscles are not hydrated, you can't expect to produce more force just because it's not adequate to produce more force. It's not a sponge. Like it's empty. It has no water. It has nothing to fill it up so it can actually produce the force. I like to say muscle is like a sponge because it is like a sponge. Muscle and glycogen goes together. Glycogen stores water, also muscle, and muscle needs water to help it to perform, so it can increase blood flow to the area, and that's how you get a pump also, but also is to make sure less cause of injury and to recover. And also I want to explain that you do need sodium packages. I would recommend if you're sweating a lot, let's say you do 30 minutes of cardio and you lift weights or whatever, you're sweating, you do need a hydration. And I'm not talking about just more water. Sodium packets would work, so I suggest LMT. I never tried them, but I highly suggest LMT just to give it a shot, and it will probably help you. And also, I will talk about this creatine monohydrates. This will go hand in hand with your hydration. I'm not talking about this creatine thing. This is a basic creatine. I'm not sponsored, by the way, not sponsored by any companies. But I want to say creatine is the most scientific proven method. It comes from meat sources, but you have to eat a lot of meat, about 4 to 5 pounds a day, just to get 5 grams of creatine. And creatine is proven to have brain cognition, brain function, increased muscle mass, and more hydration because it put more water weight into your muscles. And the benefit of that is to actually become more fuller. Yes, you will gain weight on the scale, but you gotta understand what's gonna help you. Do more like pounds on the bar, and over time build more muscle to lose body fat, or just to feel like you have body fat but you don't. Like, you want creatine. I highly recommend it, especially if you're sweating or something. It doesn't hinder your performance, and this is ATP also. So if you're doing high reps or low reps, like explosive power, this can actually help you over time. It's not like a pre-workout. You take it, you feel it. If you have to take in dosing, so I suggest you take it where you're gonna most likely take your supplements. So if it's the morning works for you, take it in the morning with your coffee. If it's an afternoon or in the middle of the day, do that. Make sure you're consistent with it. I suggest if you're a bigger guy, 180 to 200 pounds, depending on height, of course, then you might have to take 2 scoops for like 2 days just to try to reach full saturation in 4 days. But just take it for 5-7 days, and you should reach around full saturation, so it's fully in your muscles, and that will help you over time to feel performance. This was for me 100 scoops in this container, and it was like $30 at Sam's. So it's very cheap, even if inflation went up. But it's very cheap anyways. So there's nothing wrong with it. And if you don't even want the water weight, just do it for the brain cognition. It will make a difference over time. It's not like a pre-workout said, but I highly suggest it. So let's move on. So the next one is active recovery. So active recovery goes hand with resting. What I mean by resting, I mean moving your body parts that is sore. So for your leg, if your legs are short, you shouldn't be just sitting down in one plane of motion, because then you're telling the body to morph in the sitting motion, so your legs can be more the word I'm trying to say is more overactive. So it's actually overactive because it's holding it in place. It's tighter, and you want to become more looser in the body to become less sore, so you can increase blood flow to that area, so you can move it more often. So what I mean by active recovery is to go for a walk. That's the best way. If it's your rest day, I won't suggest you just work out or train harder. Go for a treadmill walk. Do some different cardio. You don't have to do treadmill. Go swimming. Go with your friends. Just move more. Move that area. Maybe I would highly suggest, if everyone wants to listen, do mobility. It will make a difference, make you stronger over time, because maybe for squatting, you'll go deeper than usual, and that will make a big difference over time. So I highly suggest active recovery. It is active, not too active to the point it becomes a training session, but active enough that it becomes below moderate to cardio, if that makes sense. Cross training. Well, cross training is pretty much change your training session. If you're doing powerlifting and switch to bodybuilding, that will be a different stimulus anyways. So it will increase muscle growth because it's a different thing that your body is not used to. Okay? But if you're getting sore off of powerlifting, you might have to change it, because it's a one-plane motion. You powerlifting stuff, you're doing four compound lifts, maybe you have to switch to bodybuilding, because it's different planes of motion, different dynamic stuff, so you can actually over time get used to that, and instead of being more sore in that one plane of motion, so you can actually increase muscle growth in a linear progression if you could. My whole thing about this is you might have to switch it back and forth. I recommend 4 weeks on one thing, or even have a period here and there, 3 months if you want to. But you have to remember, make sure your recovery is good, make sure your volume, frequency, intensity is okay, and make sure you're not sore, because there's no point being sore if you don't even feel right. And also, if you're sore, you have a high chance of injuring yourself. And also, it doesn't feel good. I don't know what people say your back being stiff feels good, but I never thought that. So I highly suggest maybe switching up, do different training styles if you want, or just do bodybuilding, powerlifting back and forth, and you get used to that and get stronger over time. Listen to your body. This is pretty much the big topic. Listen to your body. If your workout plan or training plan, whatever, has 11 sets on chest day, right? And the volume is high, it's like endurance volume, 15 to 20 reps each, and your body say, okay, I can only do 6 of these sets before I am freaked. I am fucked, because I'm about to blow up my chest, right? Listen to your body. Don't just listen to your workout plan. Your workout plan do not control you, and if your body is saying something. Meaning, if you're already sore on the 5th set of that high volume chest day, don't do more sets just because your workout plan said so. Doesn't mean you will grow more because you do more sets. You will grow more if you just do the right enough to least the most amount of change. What that means is if you do the least amount, you will actually grow more. More does not mean better in a weightlifting room, because the body is different. It's not like I can do more in my job, it's not like I can do more in my job and get what I want. Training is different. You gotta be smart with it if you want to produce more muscle growth. Therefore, If your body's tapping out even on one set, don't do anything. Of course, it depends on many people. If you're just don't understand how do you feel, but most people who's going to fitness and don't feel right after the sixth set or the fifth set of hard intensity, maybe you're doing a 5x5 for crying out loud, then don't do any more. Just listen to your body. I know it's hard, but sometimes you gotta listen to it. And maybe you feel like it, you feel like shit, let's say. You feel like crap, right? Then you wait a minute, see how you feel then, and in 3 minutes you still feel the same or don't, then you go back into it. If you still feel like crap, then you stop the session, because you will grow more on that session. I know it's hard with the egos and stuff. It's hard because I don't got six-pack abs, and I'm not telling you guys this, but I know so many times I could just rack it and be done and grow more from that session than if I just racked it. Like, I didn't rack it, and now I didn't grow as much. I could gain probably 20 pounds on my lift if I just racked the bar, squats, deadlift, whatever. So you gotta understand, the least amount of change will promote the amount of growth. Mind pump quote, paraphrasing. Summary. We talked about listen to your body, so listen to how you feel. Then we talked about cross training, so you might want to change a training program. Powerlifting, bodybuilding to powerlifting. 4 weeks, 5 weeks, so have a zone. Make sure you account for frequency, intensity, volume. Active recovery, so walking, moving that body part, mobility days to increase blood flow so you don't be in one plane motion. Nutrition and hydration. Nutrition is a big matter, so eat the amount of calories you need to perform or eat less, depending how it is. And hydration is not just more waters, also more sodium or more electrolytes. And sleep and rest. Sleep, you need sleep 9 hours. Aim for, if you can't, try to aim for 9:30. Trying to account for the times you wake up during the night. Try to account for the times you have to stay up because you have something to do tomorrow. Or account for the times that it's going to take you to fall asleep. And rest, the same thing with active recovery. You want to just rest, not make it to a training day, but move that body part. Similar, but still rest. Don't try to do a lot more cardio. But that's it for today. Today's episode 26 of the podcast, guys. My name is Drake, or NoBSNutirition on YouTube. Please subscribe to me. If you guys subscribe to me, I'm more able to produce more content because I'm more motivated. I'm having more outreach to other people who can see me, so I can teach them about fitness and nutrition, and I can actually just show them the way. So please, comment below if you have a video idea or a comment, just want to comment. Go right ahead. It's not going to take forever. It's okay. And that's really it to this video. Thank you for the support on my last video about the worst to best shoes. That really was awesome for long form content. Thank you so much. And that is all. Goodbye. You guys didn't have to fucking bark. Did you really have to bark? Huh?